Hello crafty people, we're live. So I'm doing a bit of a impromptu words live. I wanted to do one today anyway, but it's just absolutely crazy with everything that I've got to do this coming day, the next coming days. We're going away on holiday for a family member's wedding, and but I wanted to get a live in because I couldn't do it last week from the festival because it was crazy. I just thought I'd pop on, we can do a little bit of crafting and we can just kind of catch up. So I was at Fantasy Forest. For those of you that don't know what Fantasy Forest is, it is a big, almost like a bit like Comic-Con, but for like really crazy fantasy creatures, people dressed up as fairies, orcs, mushrooms, devils. I was a bit of a devil dragon myself, which was really good fun. But it's such a fun, lively event. I really wanted to take my paper cutting art there, which I'm really glad I got to, but it was absolutely crazy because of the weather. So it wasn't the event's fault. They'd done an amazing job to try and look after us, but the weather was just horrific. I mean, literally when we got there, so me and my mum went up. When we got up there on Friday, it had taken us 4.5 hours to get there and it should have taken 3. Traffic was horrific, so we were already knackered by the time we got there. We tried to set up the gazebo and it literally just imploded. So I need to get a better gazebo. So we just couldn't set up, which was crazy. And we still couldn't on the Saturday. We still had a really good time though, and I caught up with friends and the company that I designed jackets for and stuff, which was amazing. And then we managed to set up on Sunday morning. But it was still a bit of a crazy day, but I got to meet some amazing people. I had an amazing time, so I'm so glad I did it, and I will be going back next year because what an event. It just amazing. And I love the whole costumes and getting dressed up, the steampunk, the goth, all of it is just such a magical environment to be in. So I was supposed to be doing a live from the field on Friday. That was the plan, was set up my tent and do a live, but the internet wasn't really working. We really struggled with internet all weekend, so I was unable to. So I'm catching up with you now. Just a little note, next week I'm away at family wedding, as I said at the beginning, so I won't be doing a live, but there will be a video coming out on Friday for those that want to watch it, and it will just be a little make and take thing. Other than that, I hope you're all well. I'm sure I haven't really got anybody joining me at the moment because I didn't give any warning, but today is one of the days that I've got to start packing because we're going away. And I've got so much to do. But I wanted to check in with all of you. So after the video, if you watch, please give me a comment. I want to know how you are doing. Show me your pictures of what you've been making. If you've been creating in your card journal. If you've created with my products or someone else's products, that's fine. I just want to see how you're using your journals. Anyway, so today I thought I would use some of the decorative papers to create something. Now I was thinking ATCs, so artist trading cards. I had a lovely customer come round. She brought some of my stamps and stencils at the event, and she was giving out artist trading cards. And I thought that was great. So I haven't made any of those in a while, so why not use some of my decorative papers to make one? So I think we'll do that today. So I'm not sure what page yet I'm going to use from the paper collection. I don't know if I'm going to go really kind of browny dark or the top blue or the next one, this one. I think I'm going to go for that one. So I'm going to just take that out of my pack. I'm going to flip you around, and what we're going to do is we're going to decorate the whole piece and then cut it down and then add our kind of embellishments and words and stuff. I think I'm going to pull in some of my words from the Tim Holtz stickers because they're a little bit smaller than mine and they might just fit on there. Also, I do have the Stamps by Me one, so it's absolutely fine to obviously use products from other places. I've only got a small product range at the moment, so we're building on that and we're going to add to that in the future. You are going to love the new die set I have designed, and literally I have designed, oh my god, I cannot wait. Anyway, onto something else. So I'll flip you around and then you can see what how we're going to create this. Okay, let's, oh, wrong screen, I'm having one of those days. Here we go. So I've picked out that one page, and for me there's a little bit too much colour at the moment, so I want to knock it back and then add some more colour on the top. So I'm actually going to use some paint. Now I'm just using a white gesso. I'm not going to, oh, I can't open it. Oh god, that is, stand fast. Ah, there we go, we've got it. I'm not going to use too much, but I'm just going to knock it back in places. And then we can do a little bit more stenciling over the top, maybe some spray. So this is 160 GSM. It's a lithograph print, so it's the ink absorbs into the paper. So there are two types of printing that is usually used within the craft industry, digital and lithograph. And I only found out about all of that more recently. I need a thicker brush. I got one. That's a bit better. The rest of my brushes are out of reach. One sec. That one. That's what I want. I want like a flathead. Sounds like a screwdriver. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that paint, not too much, and I'm just going to knock it back a little bit. And then what I can do is, if it's a little bit too intense or too much, I can just take a paper towel. Oh, running out. A paper towel, just pat it back. But no, that's all right actually, because it kind of, it's knocking it back a bit blendy in. I'm not going to paint over the whole thing, just a few spots. And this is exactly, you know, one of the processes I would do if I just inked and stamped. If I want to just knock something back a little bit, and you can spread that out, because then I can add some more to it. So that is fine. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Oh, she says. And I'm going to move that out of the way. White gesso is just one of my kind of go-tos. That's why I've got such a large pot of it, because I do use it quite a bit. So let's bring in some of the stamps. And so I want to get some of that stamping in. Let's just mop up any extra gesso, because I don't want, because I've done such a fine layer, it's already dry pretty much. It's only a little bit damp, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So what colour was I going to go for? I was going to go for the brown, so I might actually go for black. Let's get a bit more black in there. So I am going to use a block. I don't need a full block. Oh yeah, it just about fits on. Just about fits on. Yeah, I was gutted I couldn't set up a little place so I could do demonstrations throughout the 2 days at the event. I really wanted to, but it was so windy and rainy. At one point I had customers on either side of the gazebo holding it in place because it was going to fly off. It was just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now I'm not being too careful. I'm just trying to get some of that really nice kind of texture on here, just to kind of add a little bit more, because I really like the kind of ornate shapes in this. I think that's it really. Yeah. And then I'm going to move you to one side. We're going to use the brown for the writing. So I think my other colour I'm going to use is brown and blues, I think. So let's just pick some of that up. And then we can just start adding a little bit of that in. And I've got tons and tons of texture going on. A couple of colours. But this is going to be cut up into little sections. So there'll only be little sections. Now I'm sure an ATC is 2 inches by 3, so business card size. Oh no, I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to add a little bit of texture paste through a stencil. Now what should we go for? Oh yeah, I hope you guys like alphabet, because the new stencil has a really textured alphabet on it. I can't, oh, it is all work in progress. That's pretty much finished, but there's still so much to do. Oh no, he's gone a little bit on the stiffy side. I'm just going to give that a mix round. I might have to add a little bit of water, spray that. Oh, we might be all right. Might be a little crusty. Not sure why that's done. It's got me stuff on it. So let's go for our letters. Not our letters, sorry, our numbers. Get some of that going through there. Oh, I love a number. Oh, my texture paste is, I must have not screwed the lid on properly last time I used it. And a bit down here. So how's everybody else? Good morning. How's everybody else doing? I hope you've had a easier weekend or week than I did. I mean, to be fair, the event was amazing. And even my mum, who's never really done anything like the steampunk stuff, because I've been doing the steampunk stuff for a while, my mum's decided she wants to dress up as a pirate, because we had some lovely female pirates come to our rescue when we were trying to get our van out of the field because we got stuck. Yeah. And we went and watched a pirate band at one point during the weekend. It was so much fun. Yeah. So if you do have the opportunity to go to this event, Fantasy Forest, it's up in Gloucestershire. Oh my God, get a ticket next year. It was so worth it. It really was. I'm not sure what event I'm doing next. But there is a Whitby steampunk this weekend coming, and where Rob from Steampunk Global will be at with my lovely friend Jill. They're the 2 people I work with for the clothing company. There we go. Oh, see, look at that. That's fab. That is looking fab. So I've got a little bit of that texture of that white. Also, because I left my stencil a little dirty with brown ink, it's kind of picked up that, which I'm kind of glad about. I will have to give it a scrub in a second. Let's get so I try to, because our texture paste dries so quickly and can get right into the stencils and be a right pain to clear off. I'm just going to give it a bit of a spray. Keep it damp, so then when I go to clean it, it'll be okay. So at the moment, I'm happy with that. So with using the papers, I've already got a load of colour in there, a load of colour in the project with the blues, and then I've got the textures behind which are on the paper. Then I've knocked it back a little bit with some white gesso, so then I can start adding some other textures. So I've got some brown stamping, I've got the what's it called, the texture paste. So then I've got a little bit extra there. Now I do want to add some splatters because, well, I love a splatter, but I'm going to do a black splatter and I'm going to do a white splatter. So let's get a little bit of this. I'm just going to add a little bit of water onto my mat. Dip a tiny amount of that in. Oh, I might need a little bit more. A little bit too tiny. There we go. That's good, that's good. And then I'm just going to give it a little bit of a... Now the white splats will kind of fade in a little bit. Now I want a big one. There we go. Fab. That is fab. So let's move that one out the way. I got my jar up here. I usually have a jar of water, but I think that might be in my other bag. That's fine. We don't need that. We'll wash that off in a second. Now what I would like is my black soot. Where is my black soot? Oh, I've got hickory smoke. That'll do. So I use a bit of hickory smoke. I'm going to just squidge that out onto the mat. And then we can add a little bit of water. And pick up a brush. Fabulous. And then give that a little bit of a flick. Try and get some of those big drops in. There we go, fab. So there we go with that. Now, so are you guys working on anything at home yourselves? Any big events or projects and things that you're doing? Right, I'm just going to quickly leave a comment and we can talk about it. I'm just going to quickly give that a little blast before I cut it up to add sentiments and things too. Oh, she says, oh, it's not plugged in. Of course it isn't. I unplugged everything for the otherwise I was going away because you never know. Oh, there we go. There we go. Give that a quick blow dry. Right, there we go. A little blow dry. I'm just going to dab off any excess and we're going to cut this down. So with the artist trading cards, like I said, they are normally let's use that bit. They are normally 2 by 3 inches. So I'm going to cut some black cardstock down to start with, and we will do 3 by 2. Let's do a couple. Is that right? Does that look right? It's about the size. Yeah. You know, when you look at something, you go, that looks a little bit small. But no, that's right. So we'll put together a couple. So because I've cut these down to the 2 by 3, I am going to cut this down just a little bit smaller. So then I've got my little white border, because I like a white border. Also, because this is, it's not a thin card, but it is, it will look better and be a little bit stronger with mounted onto the cardstock. So let's go there. Now the beauty is I can choose what bit I really want. So I really want a bit more of that. So I'm going to cut that there, and then we can, and then from there I can start to kind of trim it down a little bit more. So we know we need it that small, and let's take it from the bottom. So there is our first little piece, and then these other little bits I can always use for a different project if I want, as little extras, or even back onto this project. I'm going to cut straight down that bit, 3 and a bit, oh not 2 and a bit, and then that one, that one, and that one. And I can choose whichever ones I want, so I'm going to just take this bit and leave this to one side for now. And we can start by just sticking these together. There's my glue. So I'm going to use glue. Could use double-sided tape, of course. Of course. And pop that on there like that. Now what I can do is, because quite often with artist trading cards you want to leave your details, is with a little bit of white cardstock, stamp my company stamp onto it, and then onto a white piece of cardstock, or I could heat emboss it on, you know, in white. That would look quite good. But my company stamp is downstairs as I was making up some more box frames. Did I not put it away next to me? Probably not. And oh dear, all fingers and thumbs. I was really looking. So we're going to a family wedding next week in Germany, and I was really looking forward to it. And I looked at the weather forecast yesterday. It's raining the entire time we're there. The day it stops raining is the day we're coming home. Isn't that just typical? I think I've had the worst weather the last couple of weeks. Oh well. Oh well, we'll still enjoy it because we're going out with family and seeing our loved ones, which will be really nice. I can't wait to see them all. So look, I've got 4 there. We've made 4. Obviously I can make more with my leftovers, but we'll just do 4 today. So I'm gonna grab my little stickers, and I'm going to grab in my bits here. So let's move you out of the way for a sec. I am going to pop on here. I'm going to pop on you. I'm going to cut you in half so I can use you on 2, and I'm going to pop on a hat. Oh, I could use that one. Just a note. Could do time for you. Oh, should we do one of those little keys? One of those little keys. So what I'm going to do is, because obviously they've got the white background, I just want to knock that back a little bit. I'm going to use one of my browns. Lost a couple of my thingies. I say lost, they perished, like they do. There it is. So I'm just gonna, oops. Some of these tools I brought were really good, and some of them have come unstuck, so I need to re-glue them. Pop those bits away. I might keep the clock out. So I'm gonna add my little embellishments on. Now this one, I'm just going to take that around the hat. So I could have used the blue, but I'm going for brown because I don't want it, just don't want it bright white. And then I'm going to use just a note. Let's just take that around there a little bit. Yeah, make it a little bit grungy. I might actually use, where did I put it? Oh yeah, I love using thread, so I do a lot of machine embroidery, and I love machine embroidery. It's absolutely brilliant. Like free motion embroidery, and So I've got some really nice threads that I use from Madeira, and they're really, really great for using on my projects too. So yeah, we'll use that. So let's finish it. Let's do this one first, and then we'll work on each one in turn. What did I do with my double-sided tape? Because I need that just for popping it together. No matter, I've got another one. Oops. So I was making things for the event, and like I said, I do a bit of free motion embroidery, and I was making these really fab tea lanterns, and I actually stitched straight through my finger there, straight through to there. So I stitched my finger to the project. The interesting thing is what I was doing is a single line skull piece. It just seemed very typical of me, but they still turned out very nicely. Obviously, I didn't put together the that particular one. Now all my stuff is at our factory unit. I say our factory unit, my other half's factory unit. So I need to go through it all and get everything in place. So I'm going to be later on today dropping off some of my work to the craft cabin in Bognor. So if you want to see my box frame work, then it is available there. Well, I'm hoping to do that anyway, if I get everything done today. It's a race against time at the moment. Right, so happy with that, then you can go on flat. Ooh, straight onto my mat. And then, so these are like, you could make these as mini tiles for a card or for a small art journal. So there's our first one. Let's just mop that up before I put something in it I don't want to. So that's one. Let's just, I'm going to just chop off part of him for this one, and then let's choose a sentiment. White or black? Black. It's always a small, no, believe in yourself. That one, that would be a nice one. So I'll pick up there, ready. Let's stick you down. You've got a bit of brown. Bit of brown on you, and pop that on there. And pop that sticker on. That's two. Oh, actually, I'm not too happy about that sticker where it is. Have I committed too soon? Maybe. Down there. That's better. Happier there. Okay, next one. Right. Just going to chop that off a little bit more. There we go. So I've just got that little bit of wing. Give it a dab. And right, the clock I'm going to cut in two as well. So we can use half for that one and half for this one. So let's pop these on. I'm going to do the clock just there, and the wing just overlapping it a little. Let's just nudge you up a little bit. Oh, a little bit too much. There we go. Fabulous. And then let's now never give up. Do your best. I'll use that one. So we're just going to take it to this corner at the bottom, and then we've got our little one there. And then I've still got my clock and my key. So let's just knock the key back. Nope, I've given it a little bit of a bend. That's fine. Did I want it there or there? Okay, let's put it there. And then the key. Oops, a daisy. Oops, a daisy. Across there. Right. And then we're going to go stay simple. There we go. So, just move these out of the way. Put a lid on that. And then we've got our 4 little artist trading cards that we've created using the background paper, a little bit of stamping and stenciling, and then using those ephemera pieces to just add that kind of interest to the piece and some words. So I've used the words from Tim Holtz, and I think this one is a Stamps by Me washi tape. I hope you've enjoyed that little bit of fun. So I'm going to flip you around. Here we are. So this is just a little example of how you can use the products to create artist trading cards. You can use them as little business cards. So I might do that. I might make a load up because I think I've run out of business cards. All a little bit different, but using that one sheet of cardstock, then decorating it a bit more. So using a bit of white gesso to bring the colour back or knock it back, and then adding on top a little bit more stamping, a little more stenciling, to then create something which has a bit more depth and texture if you want to. To be fair, you could just cut it out, and instead of doing the stenciling and stuff, they'd be perfectly fine as they are, because that's how I created the papers, so they could be used as they are, because they've got lots of kind of texture and different overlays in them. So anyway, I hope you all have a very blessed day, and that the weather hasn't beaten you down. I will see you the week after next, because we're away next week, and that's about it, I think. I can't think of anything else. I'm sure it will come to me later, but have a fabulous day, guys, and I will catch you all soon. But this is me signing off, and I shall see you all soon. So take care. Bye now.